Imagine getting associated with Scardor. Cringe, bro. Okay. Yes. Cool. All right. After some rescheduling here and there, and some forgetting and messing up on my part, we are here today, dearly beloved, to help you out. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad, man. And yeah, no issues.
Yeah.
I kind of get like lost at certain points in the game. This is one of them. It's not much more. I don't think I can do much more at this point.
Okay.
Like other than starting to run like Kalos and stuff, which I don't think I'm strong enough for.
Have you done a BA?
Yeah. I should have on the page I sent. I should have like full tabs.
In there somewhere.
You can.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, because you say you don't think, so checking what kind of numbers you're working with. 3 minute, no origin. 9 second with origin. So 9 second, and they done a 3 minute one. Yeah. So for Kalos, it's a good idea to do like a 35 to 40 second one, because that's like the amount of time that you know you can keep Kalos locked in place.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do some maths and kind of like try to approach it, but the tricky part is you have to learn to time your origin correctly, right? Because a lot of the damage could actually miss if you don't use that one on time to make sure that it squeezes into the BA. Because it hits like, what, 30 seconds later, right? Ish?
Yeah,
the big
pretty
damage.
much.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you get that form down, make sure you time those skills correctly so that you can get all the damage done if you want to do like a 2-2-2 for easy Kalos, if that's where you want to start. I think it'd be a good idea. We can take like 40% of this one and see like roughly where that's at. If you did the 90-second one, did you do one Howling Fist, or did you do two in that? Probably one, I guess.
One, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't. Otherwise, it would be on the first page probably.
I can do one quickly.
Yeah. If you have, I guess if you have the time, then I can just scroll through things a little bit more.
Yeah. I should have it set up for like easy movement, but I haven't really used Google Docs too much. Like there should be like the tab with all the headings.
Oh yeah, this one you mean? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I always forget that that's there. It's so much more useful. Yeah, navigating it is definitely a breeze. Then this compared to like 60 pictures in a Imager album, I think I should just remove that from the from the file completely, so nobody gets it in their head to even try to make one of those anymore. It's a rough time. Okay. Do you want peace and quiet to set up the BA to make sure you don't make any mistakes, or?
It should be okay.
I'll just kind of scroll through the things here, see what you're working with otherwise. The 140, 54. Got the high ID. High ID probably from FAMS, I take it?
One fam, yeah.
Undrop Legion Wealth 406. Okay. That's a 9-line drop on the drop set?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So 180. Where do I get that extra 20% from?
I have to double prime one of your items so that you get 10 lines from your equips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the last step, and then when you're at 426, that's basically like quote unquote like the perfect number now that you can get. 72, that's weapon jump? Yeah, plus flag, plus blessing, the ultra stat flex. That's always nice. Okay. And Odium is probably leveled by then, by now, right?
Sorry? Oh
and
no,
your
that
Odium
is
symbol.
updated.
Oh, it's updated. Okay, yeah. So it's like 1 or 2 days off max, right?
Yeah.
So that's another bit of stat. Very nice. Bossing. Get the ring. Open jump. You're on what? 54? And 54 is just with Maple Warrior, right?
Sorry?
Your 54k stat, that's just with Maple Warrior?
Yeah.
Okay.
BA should be at the bottom.
Oh, you already got it? Nice.
Yeah.
26 Old Transpose Monocle, that's nice. I guess tell me a little bit more about like the wall you feel like you're hitting in terms of, because I don't know, what do you enjoy doing in the game? Like what kind of player are you? What's a little bit more
not
background,
a
I
farmer.
guess. Not a farmer,
I
okay.
don't farm person. I think I've been like 274 for like 3 months.
Okay.
Just daily, basically. No, I enjoy bossing a lot. So just, yeah, pushing. Like I recently started being able to solo hard duck now.
Okay.
Which is a very annoying boss for me.
Yeah. Oh, only for you.
And
Everyone else loves it. So simple.
Yeah.
So clean. Yeah. No, it doesn't give anyone any trouble whatsoever. Yeah, no, that's okay. And before that, you were just practicing it a while and just blowing up normal, or were you doing? Do you do like random groups
normal
as well? Yeah. So would you say you play mostly by yourself, or do you have like group of friends, guild?
I do. I have a mate I'm trying to get up to relatively the same sort of stat. But hard to get people invested in a gambling simulator. But yeah, other than that, my guild's fairly helpful.
Okay. Well, you say that, but like all of the Genshin-like games are printing money, so I guess it's not that hard.
Yeah, true. But yeah, no. In terms of like where I'm stuck, I feel like I'm always on a wait list for like an item drop. So like, I think a little bit further down, I've got my spares. I've got nothing. That's like after months of playing.
That's where the IED comes from, yeah. Both of these have a... Oh no, this one has a line, and then these two have a boss, yeah. These are like the best budget 3 lines that you can possibly get, so... This is like really good value.
I haven't really tried to re-roll them because of that. I think it costs like north of like way too much money.
Yeah. Well, the emblem is like the most affordable. It's like 42 bill, I think, a little bit over 30 bill on a cube sale, but yeah, then you want to think about Saren and stuff. Have you been doing any Saren? Or is just before that kind of where you're
just
pausing?
Before that. I've tried. Yeah. I've tried like the easy Saren, but yeah, not quite there yet.
And is there any kind of party, friends, guild? Like, how have you gotten to this point? Have you done, like, did you have a regular party for stuff like Tenebris and Hard Lucid and Hard Will, or did you kind of just wing all of that yourself?
Kind of got into like random parties here and there for like Tenebris, but only a couple times. For the rest of it, I've just been pushing through slowly.
Okay. Is it something you want to keep doing, or because you're really getting to bosses now where people want to have a static weekly party that they can run with, and and hopefully keep progressing with as well to the higher difficulties. Because looking for a party for like hard Saren, easy Kalos every single week can be quite a drag.
100%. I think the biggest issue is like my guild is NA. I'm OCE, so time zones make it a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just in general, like, I don't know, it's a bit hard to find a party.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely I don't know if there's like a specific Oceania MapleStory Discord or something, because I imagine, because I know a guild with people that we used to play with quite a bit was like the Phases Guild. I know a bunch of people there in our Oceania, but yeah, that could be tricky. A little bit extra work for yourself to to get all the people around you, I guess. But the reason I was checking is because even if you have the if you have the damage, you know, if you don't have the people, then it's always a gamble every single week, and then you already, like you said, you are going to be in a waiting room for drops, and if then every single week is also not even sure that you're going to get the clear, then what takes months or half a year is going to take years or multiple years, because of just of the power of like multiplying. Yeah, the even getting the clears. You have the drop rate, so that's already good. So now you need to, well, you don't need to, right? The question is really like, what is the goal for yourself at this stage? Do you just want to keep steadily progressing, or is there something specific you want to reach?
Currently, I want to solo Black Mage. Like that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I can nearly like one burst phase 1, but I pretty much die out before.
So you get like, how far did you get it so far? Like how much
Oh, I've gotten
percent?
to phase 3, but I've died out. Like it was a very long run.
Okay. But so if you G-skill full burst, you can get out of P1 with your current, so with the weapon jump?
I get it to about 10%, so it's not too bad.
Okay. Yeah, and then you can finish it off, and then...
Yeah.
And where would you say that you can get through P1 and P2 mostly with your lives intact, and it's really just P3 that's giving you trouble?
Honestly, P1 is probably where I'll lose 6 lives. So even 10%, like to get it down to 0, I'll need my 90-second burst, and I will pretty much die from there. Like, I'm very used to like every party I've been in, just one burst phase 1, and they're out. So
yeah,
that's taking a bit of time.
There's a whole bunch of mechanics in P1 that are horrendous, and really the way to play the game is just to have enough damage to burst out of P1. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever watched like the full guide, but the amount of stuff that starts happening in P1 when you have like the vertical lasers and the map getting smaller and all that, if you spend a lot of time there, it gets really tricky. So a lot of it is about just kind of like dodging the statues, predominantly the white statue, right? Try to attack the black statue as much as possible, and of course because of your DPM nature with Lord of the Deep, it's a little annoying because you have to be so close to confirm that damage, but you know, being close is being in the danger zone, so it's not advisable. But would you say that if you get out of P1 more cleanly, that you feel like you could get out of P3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 6 extra lives would be a huge difference, of course, yeah.
Yeah. P3 is like not too difficult. Like I'm pretty used to the kick at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's doable. It's just I will take losses and deaths there.
Yeah, the longer you're in the run, the more bad patterns you get, which will inevitably lead to a death, and then that makes it trickier. So what's the very furthest you've gotten? Like how much left in P3, and how long was that run? Do you remember?
The last one was like 40% left, and it took me, I can't remember how long, but it was longish. Like I think it was like 15, 20.
And did you and now with practice mode and everything, with the G skills and all that, have you still been practicing recently?
I have not tried recently, but I saw that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because the huge benefit, of course, is that even if you mess anything up, you could just exit, go back in. You know, you don't need to worry about your skills being on cooldown and all that. So that's a huge quality of life improvement. Because I mean, I play Buck on a super low level, so I can give you like specific Buck tips and all that stuff. But you're familiar with the like down tap arrow to stop your slide and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And the super jumps whenever you need to, a lot of it is just P1 is kind of spooky. If you can't get through that one burst. I mean, we got the second mastery coming, right? Do you have some fragments saved up?
No.
Okay, so
I have 6 jump there. I think it's a little bit up.
Yeah.
So kind of a low level in terms of like how many fragments. I don't train, so they're all dailies.
Gotcha. And like high mountain and
yeah, high mountain, thankfully.
That's been a nice boost, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the older one. Oh yeah, so this is now 13. Okay, and where does this? Because the second mastery, Oh, that's for your dash. Does that gets passive Octo Punch damage as well, right? Or does it not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's the Nautilus Strike is passive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That one. I will do something forgotten, but yeah, the percentage of damage that's gonna be tricky. I mean, you have the event buff now, and you can grab so you have the map buff, right, at the half-hour mark, and you can grab the VIP buffs, and you have the passive event buff. So that's quite a lot of extra damage now, so it'd be a good time. Did you build an extra extra hyper skill tab for extra final damage?
No.
Okay, so one of the kind of like, it's not cheating, okay, it's using the game mechanics. One of the ways that you can get quite a lot of extra damage, 10% final damage, or a little bit less because, you know, you lose a little bit, is by building a combination of the event skill, getting arcane power in there, and then building a tertiary hyperstat setup with hyperstats in arcane power, so that you get a total arcane power of 1460, which is 10% over the required amount to deal full damage to the Black Mage, and then you can actually gain 10% final damage from that.
Oh, cool.
It's only possible if you have like event buff, because otherwise you go up by 100, right, in the passive from the guild by 30, and you need, what is it, 1,452, and you can get to 1,450. So you really always need. So whenever event buff like that is available, then that's like the green light that you can do. That you can do the trick basically. So most people do, I think, is level 4 or get to like 40 arcane power from the skill. And then the hyper stats up to whatever the difference is, like you need 70, so it's like level 12, I think. Or not? Yeah, because 50 up to 10, and then 10 per level. Yeah, I believe. I'd need to double check that. But that will, so you lose a little bit, you know, in like damage, boss damage, a little bit in critical damage. But you know, you're already good on critical damage as a Buccaneer, right? So most of it is basically going on the highest levels. You lose like 3 or 4 of the highest levels. Maybe a little bit of attack. You know, the strength in the dex maybe is gone. But then that 10% final damage should make quite a nice difference. So maybe that, you know, and a bit of practice. Second mastery core. I mean, of course, the thing that would help you the most is if you hit a roar from a box, right? And that's where the consistency of doing the other bosses comes into play. If you can, you know, see 10 every single week and maximize your chances with the drop rate to the clears, that if you hit a roar, you'll have a much easier time getting out of P1. And I think, yeah, if you could do that one burst P1, now you have a whole bunch of extra lives that you can throw at the rest of the boss fight, and I think that should take a lot of pressure off of the rest. Yeah.
You know, no ring ever. I have a lot of I got what ring was it? Reflective ring right after the changes to Princess No, so that was great.
Me too on the buck, yeah. And then it was like, oh, thank you, so useful.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, first I got one on the Cannoneer, which could already do Princess No like super duper fast, because you could just throw the bullets, right, and it just blows everything up. So that was the character needed at the very least, and then the buck got it, yeah, and then the changes, and it was like, okay, too little, too late.
And then all the rest of the rings I get is Crisis HM.
Yeah.
Pretty much every week.
Beautiful, yeah. Or the Ultimatum ring, or I love those. Beautiful. But other than that, you're maximizing your exposure to the rings, right? Also like Hard Lucid, Hard Will. Are you like soloing all of that stuff yourself?
Yeah.
That's what
soloing everything C10y and all the way up to hard Darknail. So hard Darknail, V healer. They're definitely doable. I think Darknail's like a 10-minute run, so it's not too bad. And yeah, V healer is easier solo than in a group.
If you have a group who knows what they're doing, then that's easier. But if you have a rando group, then yeah, soloing is easier, because it'll just get chaotic real quickly. Yeah, they just want to hug the corner into a giant poison cloud, and that could be a big mess. Yeah.
So yeah, the bosses remaining is like Chosen Saren will be the next boss after Black Mage, which Black Mage I generally have a group for anyway. but I just want to solo for achievement purposes, you know, like
I gotcha.
I
Yeah.
can.
Like just the first time to see that you can do it, like a very long run, and then start looking for a party. Okay. I mean, I think that's also really good. Gives you a good measure to know that you can solo it. If you can find other people who find that they're close to soloing, you'd never have to really go to a 6-man party. You can immediately go for like a 3 to 4-man party, which I think is where you want to move towards really quickly anyway, because that's the only way you can get a reasonable chance of the drops, right? It's like having the drop rate, getting all the clears in, and then get the smallest party possible. If those 3 things are met, then you're giving yourself optimal chances. Well, yeah, the hidden number 4 is run on more characters, but that doesn't really help you progress on one character, except if you're trying to get like damaged black hearts or something, right? All the other stuff is untradeable, so that doesn't really scale to other characters. But that part, those first 3 are very important to make sure that you give yourself the best opportunity to grow your character. So I think if you can solo like 30-minute, you actually want a 10-minute run, so you just 3-man it, or you do, you know, even 4-man it if you want to get like more bosses squeezed in together. You know, you want to do like Sea Slime and all of C10A and like all of that in like 1/2 hour, right? And then maybe have like enough to throw in like a Hard Lotus and a Hard Avian. And then the Dev Saren and Kalos be doable within one set of G skills as well, and then maybe do a few other bosses after that, so that you can get everything done, or most of the important stuff done in like 2 sessions of a 1/2 hour within a week. That would be like an ideal situation.
Yeah, at the moment it takes me like a full day to do bosses, so yeah, no, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, I think right now there's also a good opportunity, because I don't know how much you know how seriously you take things like Culvert, and there's like the Tomato Festival, right? It's a good idea to, if you're prepping for those and you put a lot of buffs in, I like to do that, and then after that just PUBG skills and get a few of the important bosses done. You know, and then whenever you do the Tomato Festival for the extra EXP, have you been doing that?
Yeah, that is amazing EXP.
Yeah. It's nice to have one of those that also doesn't require you to do something like that daily or like 3 times a week, because then it's such a huge commitment. So I appreciate that it's a once weekly and then gives a huge chunk. But then after that, you know, you still have all your buffs, and then you can get the rest of the buffs done, or the rest of the bosses done right after that. That's how I like to do it. The downside, of course, is that your origin is just on cooldown, so it's best to do some of the bosses that I guess are like medium difficulty first, get those done. Maybe ones where you don't need the origin as much anymore. I guess Hard Lotus and Hard Damien is just... Origin there is just to speed it up, right? It's not really like a question anymore whether or not you're going to live or not. Because I guess that's kind of the problem with the Buck. Why the P1 now is just so tricky is because all of your iframes is also all of your burst. So playing around in that phase is just very not fun for a Buccaneer. You want to just get out of that phase, and then if you kind of sparingly use your iframes maybe a little bit more. But yeah, if you need to use them for survivability, there goes all your damage, so it's not ideal. But yeah, I just I'll pray, I'll light a candle to get you to get a roar soon, you know, because it is definitely still a really big increase from a weapon jump. Weapon jump is great, but roar is just better by so much. Yeah. Okay, so sorry. Yeah.
Ring swapping, is that something that's necessary? The other rings I have are not very good. Like, I think the best I've got is like an event ring.
Yeah, so since you're a 3-minute burst class, what you can do is you can ring swap if there's like a situation where that allows it, where, you know, you can move around and then like switch it for Howling Fist and then like switch it back. There are probably some boss fights, like in Slime, for example, it can be kind of tricky to keep your Lord of Deep damage on him because of the levels and everything. So what you can do if there's like a bad pattern is just jump away, ring swap, jump back, give him a big Howling Fist, and then during the test you can easily swap back, so you really only miss a little bit of the damage like half the time. But most other boss fights, I don't know, if it's like a medium boss fight, you can use a continuous ring as well. And like ring swapping for min-maxing and something like Culvert usually will entail starting with a continuous ring, and then when you do the really big burst at the end, that's when you like switch out and use the roar. But for if it's just going to be like party bossing and you're going to do 3-minute setup and everything, then you use either the weapon jump 4 or the roar 3 or roar 4 probably. And really ring swapping there, you don't want to ring swap for continuous because then you lose a 2-minute charge up, so that doesn't make any sense. If you're going to be like half bursting, and especially if you're doing Kalos, there's a lot of downtime between the tests and stuff, so ring swapping there will be pretty convenient again if you want to get a good Howling Fist off. And because now with the cooldowns, right, you can get your overdrive, get your terms and conditions, all of that nicely synced, and make that Howling Fist hit really hard. Yeah, and then as soon as you get to another moment, another test, you can swap back. But some boss fights, like Saren, probably not. Saren is just a little bit too spooky for that. You probably just go full 3-minute, whatever your best damaging ring is, you keep that one on. So it's a little bit boss dependent there.
Okay. Cool.
What's the plan for the 4th ring? I guess I guess we'll get into that. But yeah, so some general tips there for Black Mage. I don't know if you have any more specific things that you were wondering about for that. But I think with the extra practice, mastery, and the extra final damage, if you can make that setup for hyperstats, right? I think that'll give you quite a nice extra boost. And if you're already now like 10 to 15% off, it could be that could be just enough to maybe get you out of P1 with the practice mode now, so that you can hopefully make that dream come true, and then you can would that be your first clear, or have you done like a party clear already?
Oh yeah, I'm full liberated, so like
you're
I've
full
done
okay.
party clear.
Oh yeah, because I saw 22 and I didn't know if it was okay. So you started, okay. So because you mentioned like you've been, I guess you've been on pace for quite a while, but then the level is kind of now quote unquote like lagging behind because you just don't like grinding, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Buck is I don't know, pre-260 it was a very easy farming character, and then now like with Grandis,
You just jump around.
pretty active.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think Solianus will be good for you then, right? That you can be a bit more lazy active, basically, where hopefully big parts of the map you can put the big summons on and then just jump around into places where it's not. Like,
Yeah.
is the killing with the Lord of the Deep, is that still reasonable for you now around your level?
Two-shotting, so not quite.
Mm-hmm. Two-shotting. And you
Like
can
in drop, yeah.
Yeah, and like the flash jump with the attack in the air kind of thing, right? Where you do like the, what is it, uppercut thing? What's it called?
Hook bomber.
Hook bomber, see, uppercut, that's what I said. When you like jump with the hook bomber and then try to hit them both like on the same targets. It's not as reliable, but you can get some of the monster killed a bit faster, right?
Yeah, like I generally like full clear a map. It's just a very active.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know. The reason I picked Buck was because it was a bit different from the active farm style of Kane.
Yeah.
And now it kind of feels pretty similar with like the grandest maps.
Yeah, the further you get and the more you want to get the best potential for your level, the harder you have to work. I think the Solianus will be pretty big though. I guess right now, if you were to train now, I don't know what the meta is right now for like 275 plus bucks. Would you use the summon like the Urda Fountain? Would you put that somewhere and then jump around? I guess with extra Solianuses.
Yeah, pretty much. So like Blooming Spring 1 is where I'm training at the moment. I just put it on the far right side and then hook bomb the rest.
When you say training, you do like a daily half hour, or?
I'll do like a WAP, but occasionally. If not, I'm just doing dailies.
Like here. Blooming.
Yeah, far right. That one.
Blooming Spring 1?
Yeah.
So it's 275 to enter. Oh, I'm on this noob. Oops. Rogue character. I guess we could check. Hang on. We can do this, right? Exclamation mark. EXP. Oh. Then we go into this. Amazing. Look at that. I have the same thing. Haha, the outline. So I go to the MapleStory character. Boom. Look at that. Boom. 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 Nope. Yes. Boom. That's what the map looks like. There we go. And then we set up our summons. So do you set up the summon like here?
Yeah, a little bit further right, just to get that right side of the map.
Get this guy here. If you like do big jumps, do you not get this guy? Like put it.
I could, yeah.
Oh no, not this guy. Wait, how do I remove this one? Reset. Okay. This guy. There we go. So a little bit like that. Yeah, if you got Solyanis, Dawn 1, you didn't have any saved, right? So let's say you get 1. Still gonna be pretty pricey, but you can zoom out a little bit. There's definitely gonna be some bigger maps where, you know, and it goes up to 3 if you have, what can I say? Can I remove just 1? Because if you get level 3, then you get 3 of these, right? So you can imagine there's quite a lot of maps now where you can just be super lazy. Because then you could get
pretty cool.
This kind of coverage. But you'd have to get level 20 for Solyanis for that. Level 10 you get the second one, and then level 20 I believe you get the third one. And it also gives you bonus EXP buff, so all of the training you do also gets amplified.
Okay.
And
so
you know, hopefully,
would it be beneficial to save like the rest of my fragments based on where I am?
Well, you're talking about the damage that you have. If you are able to pretty much nuke out of people in Black Mage, I would be shocked if somehow for Hard Saren and Easy Kalos that you wouldn't be able to qualify for your damage there. So I don't think you need to push damage right now necessarily. I think pushing levels is probably more beneficial so that you can, you know, get yourself towards easy culling and towards just more sacred power, right? Because your sacred power must be pretty good if you're leveling slowly, right?
300.
Yes, 300. Yeah. So it's for people like once you start reaching like 200, then you're dealing already like your full. Well, you're 100% like your flat damage to Hard Saren and to Easy Kalos, and at 250 you're dealing your max damage. So with 300 you're already moving towards like normal Kalos and easy culling party setup essentially, and smaller party Hard Saren stuff is the goal. And stat wise seem to be there. Oh, you added the other BA as well, right? For the
yeah.
So added at the bottom? Yeah. The 42nd. 47 bill second, 18. Yeah, that's great. It's I think it's probably, if you got like a support and a good setup, that's like going towards normal Kalos stuff. Like low, like very high 10s and like low 20s is where people start moving into normal Kalos. You need to practice a lot more there with the cleansing mechanic and everything. But the cleansing mechanic is also gonna get a big buff or nerf depending on how you look at it. It's gonna be better for us, easier for us to do. But that's gonna be update after current update. But basically, you'll be able to fire shots to cleanse twice as often. So even if you do miss a little bit, you can still keep the machines cleansed and basically keep the boss fight from getting out of hand. So yeah, that seems like you're definitely well on your way for all of that stuff.
Cool. I think my culvert last week was 17k. That's about where I'm sitting at.
Yeah, that's fantastic. For yeah, but I mean, it definitely is just a matter of I say just, but like a matter of finding places to find people, right? So you've got guilds, you've got alliances, you've got buddy lists, you've got pickup groups, you've got discords. If you spread the message, spread the word over all of these, and you find one person in each spot, you've got yourself a full party essentially.
So
It's
like
kind of the goal.
I'm at the stage where that should be doable then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've been kind of like not afraid, but like I don't want to get carried in runs, so like I'm kind of afraid of my damage not being enough for the group and just being carried.
Well, most people now who start doing like the Easy Kalos and Heart Saren, they're not like liberated yet, like not even nearly. They probably have they're at most probably like 2 or 3 months into liberation, and they'll probably have like half your damage.
Okay.
And then, but if you put 6 of those people together, you can definitely start. There's always going to be 1 or 2 people who do a bit more, 1 or 2 people who do a bit less. If you have a support, that can definitely fluctuate a lot, like what the requirement is for every individual person in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question is kind of where to spend my money if I don't have, if I don't get spares. I think I included my achievements in there, like how many times I've killed Will without a box. I think I'm on 100 now, so that's fun.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Never seen one, they don't exist.
It's that waiting room that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at, my first source was run number 100, or clear number 162, so.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Book took me a while too. It's crazy though, like, because I think we saw 4 emblems in the first like 10 or 11 Heart Sirens that we did, which is insane numbers. And in total, I've seen, I think, 6 books in, I don't know, 1,000 plus hard wills, which is a ridiculous, comparison.
I'm pretty lucky with Lucid Hearts. Like I have 3 right now.
Okay.
I have this character and another character, Kane, who can do hard Lotus.
Mm-hmm.
So having 3 within like a month is pretty lucky, I'd say. That's about the only thing I'm lucky in.
Well, you need more of those, so comparatively, it's not bad to be lucky at that. You want to build up a bank as big as possible, and it's probably once you get 6 or 7 set with the heart that you can start using them. Although at that point, you want to look at how many do you have. Do you need the damage basically, right, to hit the damage points that you're looking for to do the content, or what I'm looking at now for my hearts that I have is that's one, but then the second one is if I want to liberate other characters on my account, do they maybe need like a huge boost in damage for certain liberation quests, and do I want to save them for that instead? Like cluster them together with doing one quest late and another one early, so I can use one heart to do 2 quests more easily, for example.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's something
I think I'd
about.
like to get Kane liberated at some point, and he will definitely need the help.
That's like an old main of yours, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And you're like, so are you reaching something close to boss crystals? Are you making a lot of money?
Depending on how lazy I am, I can make like 10 bill a week.
Mm-hmm. From just the crystals? Or that's mostly right, because you're not trading much, so it's almost the same. Yeah.
Income from farming is like 500 mil.
Mm-hmm. Did a 30-minute hard Damien solo on the Night Lord at 240? Jesus.
I don't run on him.
Don't weekly, hopefully. I think it's always cool to know if you can, but then once you know what it takes to do it, then it's totally up to you whether you want to do that, repeat that achievement again, or if it's like, this is good enough for me.
Yeah.
Unless Damien... But I guess do 60 as well, yeah. So on your give me like a little bit of an idea, like when you get a character, what is your goal with that character? Because that's always like my first thing is like take a step back, look at the character. What do you want to do with the character, right? Like what is the goal for the character, and then how can it help your entire account? Like it helps your account by making money. maybe buy black hearts, right? Is that something you want to scale towards, like doing that on multiple characters?
I'd like to comfortably run Lucid, not Lucid, Lotus.
Mm-hmm.
On like 3 characters, just to maximize the amount of black hearts I can get.
Mm-hmm.
So my burn this time around is Hoyong. I think he'll be a good bossing mule.
Okay.
And then
yeah, I had him
Kane's
for a
running.
while, strong, but it was a bit too much for me. Kane was,
So yeah,
yeah,
I like
just
the
on
two
the other
much.
side.
Buck is getting boring.
Mm-hmm.
Buck bossing is very simplistic. Like it's got things to it, but more than not, you're just hitting Octo Punch.
Yeah, I think it's good to find just a healthy balance of characters in your bossing mule setup, and then have some simpler ones that you could just log in, roll your face on your keyboard, get your money, log out, and then some that are more challenging. That's why I'm working on the K now as well, because I built quite a few easier ones. So I think it's okay to have the Kane as a bit harder one to kind of offset the simplicity of the other characters.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
Kane
I
and
think
the Arc. Yeah.
income-wise, I don't think I'm doing too badly. More, I probably have an issue with tapping random thing. So,
So
you know
a
how we have an
spending
event
problem.
coming? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I got a dumb pendant at some point. I tried to 21 that last night, even though there's an event today. There's no reason
Right.
for it, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was fun. It brings me joy to watch things explode.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with that as long as you know at the end, as long as you're not gonna end up just like regretting it. As long as it's something that you can afford with whatever you're planning, right? Like I've got 2 characters that are pretty much full 22. If I just want to spend 30 bill on something randomly, I can do that because it doesn't hold back my account basically in any way.
Yeah.
But for you, I guess if you don't have any backups, it doesn't really hold you back either. But then as soon as you do hit a backup and then the money isn't there and there's an event, then it's going to hold you back. So, I'm not a big fan of just telling everyone you just have to sit on everything and you cannot do anything that's fun for yourself. But, there's also simulators online that you can play, that do the same thing without actually taking your money away. I don't know if that, it scratches the itch in the same way, but, I got the desire. Usually when I have that, I just do a bit of cubing, because you can spend like $1 billion or $2 billion and get quite a few rolls on cubing and just maybe hit something. When it comes to star forcing, it's I just find it a bit spookier, because some you're talking about the book and like pitches in general, like some backups can be replaced pretty easily and some backups can just take forever. So it's so volatile whether it's a good idea or not,
Oh, actually, on that note, so the advice I've been given is if I get a pitch item based on my gear, it's beneficial to just straight to 22 it.
Let me check where your accessories are at, because you're already at...
One of them is Berserked, which I did that because originally my other line was triple prime strength.
Which one?
And it
Sorry,
was
which
already
one are you
21.
talking?
The Maple Leaf Berserked.
Oh, yeah.
My one before that was triple prime strength and 21. So for me to use that, I needed to 22 it.
Triple prime, jeez. Now you need the
I
extra
got pretty
attack,
lucky with that.
Pretty lucky. I know you're never going to see that. Well, hopefully you get more in the future, and then you can try to roll that other one to 23, right? One day.
I made that drop, so that's going now.
Oh, you rolled over triple prime?
Yep.
Oh, God. Okay. No, that's fine.
Well,
personally, I would never, because you could realistically, right, comparatively, get like a 22 Twilight very simply, and that will be super close in terms of damage, because you're never going to keep pitch set bonus when you're in drop anyway. So the set bonus for Twilight with Daybreak and with Slime is actually probably going to make it better than a 21 berserked. Just to, not to throw salt into the wound, but just like kind of give you my thought process there. And because
Yeah, no.
triple prime strength is just so incredibly expensive, you will eventually, not now, not in 6 months, but like in 2 years, you might have like 4 more berserks, and then in the travel of going to maybe try to go for 23, you will eventually end up with 22 again on that, and then you'll be able to replace this one again and basically just gain 9% strength that you've already pre-cubed, and then you can YOLO all you want to 23, but you'll end up with a triple prime with a 22 realistically, as long as you keep playing. Kind of, that would be my thought process going through it.
Yeah, cool. So if I find a Damien mask, I can't remember the name of the equip, what would you
Magic eye patch.
do? Yeah, the eye patch. If you found that, what would you do based on my gear?
Well, okay, have I... So you got a monocle. Okay, so what I would do you have dineros?
No.
You don't love doing the content, probably. Nobody does.
Yeah.
So, but I would advise to do it, because you'll basically be able to use your current monocle, as long as you have backups and you have dineros, to walk your eye patch up, and even if it does boom, you will end up with an upgrade in a stronger monocle. At worst, you'll keep the exact same thing you have now. So probably what I would do is, if I would hit a monocle, I'd try to get a monocle to 17, then get the monocle up, the eye patch, up to 17, then get the monocle up to 19, then get the eye patch up to 19. If that goes, get the monocle up to 21, then try to get the eye patch up to 21. If that doesn't go, then you end up with a 21 currently transposed Sweetwater monocle, right? So you just need the dineros to keep bringing it up if it booms, and then you can go 22 or nothing on the eye patch from there on out.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
That's what I would do. So you it's a weird thing, and people don't think about it this way, but you can do Commercy to get basically a backup for a pitched. As weird as that is, but because they're just so rare, you need to use everything that's even remotely comparable. If you didn't have it transposed, or it's not legacy transposed, you probably could. I'd probably still do the same thing, but now you'll end up with a much stronger piece, because if you get this thing to 22, it's probably even stronger than a 22 eye patch. It's just the set bonus for the eye patch that's gonna carry it over.
Okay. So run comedy. Awesome.
I would. So again, this is the kind of thing where if you have the patience and you have the time, you don't like the grinding. If you do the dailies, then you don't need to do as much of the grinding, in the sense that because the grinding right now is not to get stronger. The grinding is now to get access to harder content with stronger gear, basically. And that stronger gear is not going to be as necessary if you, with less grinding, keep doing dailies to get you the backups that are comparable to the other stuff that you could be doing. Like if you have Daybreak Pendants, once you start doing Hard Siren, you'll also see more Daybreak Pendants. And the other thing you could also do, if you wanted that, right, is if you have a Dominator, you could also go for the Sweetwater, like transpose into Sweetwater Pendant, get Sweetwater Pendant to 21, unlock your Dominator right now, transfer Hammer into Superior, boom, have a 20-star Superior. That's something you could do to like alleviate the pressure. But ideally, you start doing more Horse Art Siren, you start doing Hard Fihela, hopefully you can get a 21 or 22 Daybreak, and then that frees up your Dominator. Although at that point, because of where you're at with the Berserk, you'd still want to use the Daybreak, but then you'd have the set bonus with the ring, right? The Dawn Guardian Angel ring, to get the 10% boss damage up, and then the Dominator, you're breaking like a boss accessory set 1 or 2, like who cares, right? And it's not like it's a good flame, right? It's a good item right now, but the further you go, the more you want to kind of like emotionally let go of the pieces that got you where you are and start seeing them purely again as the functionality rather than just sitting in your inventory and gathering dust, right? So you want them to keep working for you as much as possible. So another thing that you probably also want to keep doing as much as possible is daily Helix, just because you want to get backups. Eventually you want to get 22s, right? You want to get drop backups. If you get a lot of drop backups, that means you don't have to dip into the coins. If you don't have to dip into the coins, that means you can take more risk with other pieces earlier on and try to reach that 22. I saw you do have a goal there for like full 21, and I do want to say, like, apart from maybe CRA, that going full 21 on all the other stuff is definitely a really good way of going about it, because again, that means that when you hit pitch, then you can go 22 or nothing, because you have to overcome whatever is 21 already in the slot at that point. And that's why most people end up saying the pitch is 22 or nothing, not because that's just the nature of pitch, but that usually by the time you start hitting it, you already have 21 or 22 stuff equipped. So for it to even be remotely an upgrade, you need to see if it reaches 22. Otherwise, you'll just be spending money on flames and potential that will eventually be lost again in some kind of way when you do replace it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so for you, Slime, are we doing on like kind of treasure rings? Have you done Princess Snow at all?
I find like one every 2 months if I'm lucky.
Man.
I had like 6 backed up, and I used them on my Helix ring, Superior Golux recently. That was one of the shining upgrades.
Okay, yeah. So you did like so wait, it had 6 rings and you managed to get 1 to 21 and then transfer?
Yeah. No, 1 to 22. I basically just stuck them and got 1 to 2 to 21. I'm like, fuck it, and sorry for swearing. Yeah. Then just transposed directly over. Not transposed, transferred. And then just repotted it.
And the other, wait, did one of the kind of treasures not make it, or?
One boomed, one got to 22.
Yeah. So again, not trying to like throw salt into the wound, but in that situation, I think you're perfectly like following what I would do as well. But instead of trying to 22 at that point, I would lock in there and have a 21 kind of treasure and a 20 superior, and then just sit on that and just keep doing Helix, keep getting kind of treasure rings, and just keep seeing where time goes, because basically you what you had locked in was a 21 star kind of treasure ring compared to your current event ring, but then just 1 star lower on the superior, and that combination of stats is like way higher. So, and I would look at your totality of rings and be like, is it worth going from 20 to 21 on a superior, which basically is going from 21 to 22 on one of those kind of treasure rings, right? When the other ring is still like an event ring or a Darn Guardian Angel ring. Because I think there is such a thing as trying to make too big of a jump.
Okay.
That's where I would kind of like draw the line, and I think 21 is a really good spot. If you have 21 in hand, which, or down to 20 on superior. I know 20 looks ugly as fuck. But if you keep doing, and again, this is why I'm saying, like, if you keep doing Helix, and you probably get you probably get belt backups, you probably get earring backups, and then your coins hopefully only have to go towards rings and pendants. It's fine to have like a 20 star superior ring and pendant, and then everything else in your account being 21 and CRA being 22. I'd rather have that than have a superior ring that's 21, but then still being using like an event ring, because that's a really big difference. I don't know if I have a 21 on this character for kind of treasure. I think I got to 22. Yeah, I got to 22. Yeah, my reinforce is too low. So I don't know the exact stats, but it's probably something like 40 weapon attack difference or something. And stat-wise, something like plus 103, so probably plus 85 or something. So 90, so like 50 stat, 40 attack or something.
Okay.
That's just so big, right? Because then it multiplies, yeah. And then that also means that you don't have to worry about kind of treasures or superiors for a while. So all you have to do is just get backups for that, and then you don't have to really think about it. And you can purely focus on like, okay, I need to make sure that I get slime, see slime done every week, and that I get as much drop rate for that, and that I just try to get more slime rings. Then that's like the only focus for the rings anymore at that point. I guess you probably are at a point where you could also craft Meister rings, right? If you're completely out of kind of treasure rings and you just have bad luck there, which is possible.
I probably could now. I've been avoiding crafting due to, Meister dropping.
Mm-hmm.
But now that that's not a thing, it's
Yeah.
definitely on my radar.
Usually the bottleneck therefore is either the Grand Spell Essence or the Twisted Times. Have you been holding on to those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what was the first one?
The Grand Spell Essences, so that's like the black little rectangular crystals. You have like the green ones, the red ones, and then the black ones that drop just from regular monsters, but they're relatively rare compared to the other two specifically.
Oh, yeah, no, I have tons.
Yeah. So
Wait,
I
how
think
many
it's
is
one. Yeah, if you haven't used any, with your account being what was it, like 8.8k, almost 8.9k Legion,
Yeah,
you probably
I've
have
got
quite a
like
few.
On this character, at least.
Yeah, because I think it's either 150 or 250. I always need to double check. Yeah, 150 per ring, and then 800 Twisted Times. But yeah, if you've been holding on to those, you probably have like a stack and then some of those as well. And then one Primal Essence, but those have been dropping more and more for like more of the bosses in the game, right? So that is a possibility for you to unload. I always want to be careful with crafting Meister rings because they are basically the only tradable equip that we have in Reboot, right? Because as long as they're not crafted and you have all the materials are transferable. So you basically have a tradable ring in this. So I really only want to use it if you are super unlucky at kind of treasure rings. Either you don't get any or they just all boom. Then I see it as kind of like a last resort for a character. Or you want to speed up a character's progression really quickly when they don't, they only have existed for like a month, so they could at most maybe have only gotten like 1 or 2 rings. But you want to, there's an event coming, you want to fund it so that it's done, and you don't want to have to do Princess No weekly on the character. Maybe you put the resources on there, make like 3 or 4 Meister rings max. Maybe you don't make them immediately, right? But just the materials for 3 or 4, and then hopefully get a 21 out of that, and then you could just close that chapter immediately on the funding that it needs and move on with the next project.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
kind of like where I will use those. Yeah,
I have enough to make way too many, so
okay.
Yeah, definitely make it.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So in that case, I'd be trading out my event ring.
Yeah.
Like within reason.
Probably if you get a 21, even without potential, it'll already beat it out. So you don't even have to have that pressure either that you need to immediately buy a whole bunch of cubes as well. You can probably just sit on that for a little bit. Maybe get it up to epic if you get an epic potential scroll. Maybe use some hard cubes from boss drops, right? Maybe get some nice stat on it. Maybe it tiers up to unique, and then just wait for some kind of event or some spare cubes that you have from another project, and then throw them on there. That's how I like to do it. I always do them with like the maximum efficiency, because the further you get into the game, the more you just need to save to be able to reasonably make the upgrades, because they're just so few and far in between. The opportunity and also like the cost is just going to be so high per upgrade. So if you don't save for it, again, you don't have to, but if you don't save for it, you're just pushing projects that will take months into like seasons, and things that will take seasons into years. And then it becomes harder and harder to really feel like you are still progressing on the character, because you won't have made any specific progress. Like the only thing that keeps progressing if you do dailies is like the sacred, the stat from sacred, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. So like, I'm okay at saving money, which is alright. But yeah, in terms of saving spares, not so great.
Yeah, I play a lot around 5, 10, 15 events. I really like those, because I'm pretty risk averse, so I always have like that. Too risk averse probably. I'll have characters with just a whole inventory worth of backups, but I'd rather wait a little bit longer and guarantee the upgrade, and then get rid of a bunch of stuff, than go too early, potentially blow all the money, and then end up with nothing. I'd rather wait too long but have it than wait too short and feel bad that and how bad that would feel for me to not have gotten any gains, right? Like that's, even though the odds of that are higher, but it's like exponentially would feel worse. So that's like my equation basically. But everyone has a different risk aversion and different equation that you should make for that. Definitely not saying you should copy, but I think the best thing to do is just to look at the maths, right? Look at the average cost, average booms, and then as long as you have the information, you make whatever decision you think is best. You know, whatever risk you think is worthy of taking.
Yeah. So like my cane, for example, I've been doing exactly that. I've just got a ton of spares, like 13 Kana rings. I have like 7 Dom pendants, a bunch of superior belts and stuff.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do on like side characters because they don't need those big upgrades, right? So as soon as you decide like I'm going to switch what is the function of this character, I'm going to turn this from a, you know, hard lotus and everything below to like I want to live on this character, I want to make him like a duo C10 character or something. Now you can look at an event that is shining, right? Because you can just look at the bigger picture longer term, and now you have, you know, like 20 kind of treasure rings, right? You have so much to pick from, and then you're just guaranteed to make those big jump upgrades. And and that money comparative to what you would need to make a big upgrade, even comparable to it on your main character, would be like a joke. Like making another set of 22 CRA versus, you know, trying to get some eternal pieces to 21 is like the amount of money is just it's a huge difference.
Should I be 22ing my CRA?
So I think eventually you'd want to. So I definitely want to focus towards the. So potentially, like if you're doing Commercy again and everything, potentially getting like the eye. If this was one of my characters, I'd be looking at trying to get like Kana Treasure Ring or a Meister up to 21. I'd want to get a Dawn Guardian Angel Ring at 19 at least, and we want to get the Monocle towards 19. So I want to get the backups for that, so that's relatively risk-free. And then I'd probably look into transfer hammering some kind of like Dom or Daybreak like into the Superior. Try to have everything like 19 to 20 like at that mark, and then I'd probably be looking at like 22ing CRA. Or, you know, say there's an event and those other things, I kind of run out of backups for that, but I still have the money, then maybe I 22 to CRA, you know, if that's still within my risk with the money that I have left.
Okay.
It's kind of like the order that I would be looking at it. I did have a character where like my CRA was 19 and my Arcane was also 19. I kind of messed that up. Usually I don't do that. But like if the Arcane is the same level as the CRA, to me that's always like a signal either I took a little bit too much of a chance on the Arcane or a little bit too little on the CRA, or a little bit of both. I feel like those, you know, the only time I want to have the same stars is if it's both 22. That's kind of where my head's at in terms of how that balances out and where that ends up, because it's just so much more expensive to get Arcane that high, right? And with the same kind of money and infinite backups of CRA that you have lying around, that should also have already been possible there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the Arcanes definitely. I think I tapped my shoulders without a spare.
Okay.
I'm not.
Sometimes it works out.
Yeah, so that went quite well. But yeah, no, like they tapped fairly easily. I wouldn't say they cost over 80 bill, which is pretty alright. All on event, but yeah, no. So that's why they're all 21. I think I got my last 2 pieces on the last shining, but yeah, definitely gonna make that ring pretty shortly. We have a 30% off today, don't we? Like in minutes.
In 13 minutes. Yeah. So in general, 30% off. I think mathematically it's best to get up to 15, and it's best about the same / a little bit better if you're going for like 21 or 22 for items that you wouldn't safeguard. So for CRA, that would be something that you could definitely consider. And the only other thing I would look at first is seeing, okay, what other event is there going to be close? You know, up to, is there going to be a 5, 10, 15 or Shining anywhere close? In this case, we don't know, right? Or we don't know. And which other projects are you saving up for that you are close to being able to execute realistically? And it seems like you have one slime ring. You could make Meister rings, but again, you probably want to do that during 5, 10, 15 to minimize the amount of booms, because that way you spend a little bit more money, but you minimize the amount of resources you use here, so you keep, the resources available for other characters if they in the future potentially get unlucky on kind of treasure rings.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and if you have monocles, then if you had the narrows, then monocle could be something you do as well. But again, if in my situation, if you're making more like 30 to 40 bill a week, then you also want to use 30% off more, just because if you only wait for 5/10/15s and shining, your just entire day is gone by just tapping. And that's also maybe not great in terms of like, getting behind on weeklies, and because it's a Sunday, you probably have some more culverts and flags and that kind of stuff to do. Maybe some party bossing. So then you also use 30% off more just to spread where you're spending your money, basically. But that's probably for a bit later when your income is, quite a bit more than it is now.
30 to 40 bill is like off bossing, or like how much do people make on farming generally?
Yeah, so my bossing income right now is like 30. If I do everything, it's like 33, I think. And I could pretty easily make like half a bill a day just from a little bit of training. So if you add that up together, it'll be something like 36, 37, like around there. But some people just standard grind 4 hours a day and make, I would say like 2.5 bill with that, plus then a bunch of other bosses. So, the money from that alone would be like 17. Yeah, so they'd probably come to around the same money or a little bit more. But at that point, you're basically just exchanging more bossing mules for just direct grinding, because you want those levels, because you want to get to that content. You want to get your Sacred powered up, you want to get those new bosses unlocked earlier so you can start saving up for the backups, because you want to keep pushing, for whatever's not out yet, basically, right? You're always trying to... But the closer you get to that, the more you lose the efficiency on your time. And that's what you will start feeling the closer you get to like endgame. Endgame basically just signals like this is where your time efficiency goes to die. Because if you were to start a new character, the amount of percentage gain you can do in damage in a day is like mind-blowing, right? Versus how long it takes to make any kind of upgrade if you're in your eternal pieces and you're waiting for the next piece. Or, eternal is maybe a bad example. Pitch is a better example because that's more volatile and worse than eternals. And so I'm trying to, make sure that a lot of people start with like Hard Saren with easy Kalos and make that party and get that experience so that you can move to normal Kalos and then to easy culling. Most people probably will only start doing easy culling like around the time that they get liberated, because it is a lot easier to do with like one dedicated iframe possible, or you have to do curring, you have to use that kind of stuff.
Yeah, awesome. The last like kind of thing is the next event, the one in Christmas. So they're giving us two major burns for that, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
So, Shade is probably the most beneficial out of the Shade and Iran. For my account, so that'll give like some % crit damage. Do I kind of go for a character that's another bossing mule and get him to 260, or do I go for a character that's beneficial Legion-wise, like Mercedes, for example?
I think it might be early to go Legion-wise if you are... that's very much vertical in the sense that it's really only going to be benefiting one character pretty much, because bossing mules, whether you're working on your Legion or not, in that sense, whether you're doing kind of the Shade, but like Shade, Mercedes, Mechanic, those kind of that have pretty good value for their member bonus. You really won't feel that on a bossing mule at all, and you won't even feel it on your main, but it's like mathematically it becomes a good idea. I think you probably want to be like past the 280 or into the 280s on your main character before that starts giving you better value, because by that time you'll just run out of other things to do that will give you similar value. I would probably still use your hyper burns mostly for characters that you think you would like bossing on and using as a bossing mule, just to get that weekly income a bit higher rather than to have a whole bunch of 220s. Because are you doing like Lotus and Damien on like some 220s, or is that just like CRA maybe and getting some money from there?
Lotus and Damien, those are the 3 characters I run on.
Mm-hmm.
CRA mules, I've got a couple, but
Yeah.
it's maybe like another 3 that are worth the time to do them.
Yeah,
So like full income's like 10, 11, 12 bill, depending on the week.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm thinking if you can get a 260, you can get to like a bossing mule guild or something super easily, right? It's way easier than with like a 220.
Yeah.
Even if the 260 is almost weaker on paper. But just having access to Origin, if you unlock the 6th job, that will just, even if you want to throw that at like regular Lotus or Damien, that just melts that stuff. Usually also for people, that's when you can really just melt without really much funding Helix. If you want to start working on superior Golic stuff, I think you can very easily get yourself to like probably easy Lucid, but at least like normal slime and everything below without with like very little funding on there. So in this stage with your account, I would be looking for extra bossing moves to scale up on, because it's basically like a free, very strong bosser. I wouldn't look... If you can combine that with also value for the account, I mean, like, Mercedes is not bad, it's a really strong burster. You could probably nuke down some bosses. Like, Shade, at that point can do all the bosses around your level. But I would hate for you to pick a character just to get like 1 or 2% extra critical damage or a little bit of the buff duration, and then maybe try to boss on a character, and then you don't like bossing on those characters at all. And then I think that would be more of a waste than if you pick a character that you just like bossing on, but that didn't happen to give you anything for your Legion.
Okay. Yeah, Shade particularly, yeah. I like the thematics of that character, so like I'll enjoy that regardless.
Yeah, exactly. If it overlaps, then by all means go for it, yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like, I don't know who else to burn based on like the characters I like playing. Like, it'll probably be just like Nightwalker or something that's like Dawn Warrior, something that's really easy to level and strong for bossing.
Yeah, it pops off immediately, doesn't need like insane funding, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a regular thing, because that's the other thing. I always feel a little bit hesitant as well to say for Mercedes. I don't know if they're going to be like redoing the heroes now 2 at a time. And maybe the next event after that, it's like Mercedes and Phantom or something. And then maybe you get a free burn for Mercedes after that. But on the other end, I also don't want to be like, what if a year from now you get a free burn? We're getting to the point as well where if you just pick up daily EXP, event EXP, coupons, that kind of stuff, you can run a character up to 260 without ever really grinding on it, right?
Yeah, that's how I'm getting my Night Lord up there. EXP coupons, that's it.
It's already 240, yeah.
Yeah.
And like selector, coupons, the growth potion selector coupons and stuff like that, and you can, before you know it, you just get a free one up there, because those potions, all of that free EXP and stuff like past 260 loses so much of its value, so you can walk characters up there. And as long as you have something in the works that's being walked up there, something that you want as a bossing mule, I would definitely look towards doing stuff for the Legion, just when you feel that you're kind of reaching your cap on how much you want to play the game, and you don't want to fall into the trap of making it a bossing mule so that now you have to fund another bossing mule that you don't really want to add to your roster. You'd rather just have the 260 done, get the value for your account, and then not have to look at the character again. That's when I would purely look at like, Mercedes mechanic, like those characters, maybe even like Hayato, for the critical damage, those kind of things.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, Legion Artifact is looking... Cool. Oh, yeah, it's locked in. It's looking healthy as well. It's past this point, it's pretty slow, right? You've gotten
Oh
all the
yeah.
easy gains here.
You mentioned on one of your previous streams that Buck does not need crit rate for bossing.
Mm-hmm.
Should I change that to something else?
Yeah, what have you got here? All stat damage. So you'd have like attack, ID. Yeah, like ID. I guess ideally if you have your emblem for damage instead of ID, then, or like for attack, right? Then ID would probably give you quite a bit of value. There is, you have some buff duration already and drop rate. Oh no, you have the ID already. Oh yeah, that's probably why it's so high as well, because you've got that thing stacking together. So you got like what, attack, chance to skip cooldown. Right now you have it. Oh yeah, you have it divided over the 2 level 3s. Yeah. I'd basically be attack that's next, right? If I were to guess. Yeah, cooldown reset percentage. I don't think helps you at all. You can maybe get another terms and conditions out of it, but you can already reset that. And I don't think there's anything valuable. You have the crit damage. I guess you don't have the EXP, right?
Yeah.
So either be attack or EXP. Maybe, and you can still switch it later, right? You get points out the ass. You're already capped, so you could just change it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because you get 80. Is it 80%? I believe extra critical rate when you're bossing.
Yeah, something like that. And,
So it's yeah, really unnecessary.
pretty much impossible, like with Legion and Lynx, to drop below 80% anyway in crit rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Even if you're throwing everything into, I guess in the Legion build, you can start throwing more into buff duration. You're slowly doing that, right? Yeah, to get the. So that might be something to check with like the Buck Discord. I don't know where the break-even point is of taking stuff like outside of the middle again, like the attack power. Put that into the buff duration, so that your terms and conditions last longer on your bursts. Honestly, that might be something you do with the BA, because you just did the other BA, right? And moving that around a little bit and see if that has any like reasonable effect on the BA outcome.
So my thoughts there is it's already a 14-second with all the buff duration terms and conditions.
14. Okay.
Plus, I can also time skip it, which gives me another 14 seconds. 28 is already fairly large.
Yeah.
I'm curious where the drop off would be, but yeah, I'll check the Buck Discord.
I guess use your ring to make sure that synchronizes with the hit of the origin, though, right? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So use the first one, activate everything, do a bunch of punches, and then wait a few seconds, reactivate, Howling Fist, or ring, Howling Fist, and then make sure the origin hits within the ring, kind of thing.
Okay.
Is that pretty much what you do?
Yeah, my rotation might be a little bit off as 6 job. I do like normal 3-minute rotation and then tack on 6 job origin after that, or within the WJ4 window, and then just pop time skip after that towards the end of origin to get that last hit, within 15 seconds left.
But you want to get the origin hit within the, because that's a huge part of your burst, right? So you want to make sure that hits within the ring.
Okay, so I should pop ring, I pop origin first and then pop ring later. Okay.
I think so, yeah. Because even now, the Hexa Octopunch is 8%, right?
I don't think I've arranged that to. Yeah, that's fair though.
And 3 minutes, 8.3%. Yeah, that could be something to double check as well with the Discord, right? With the Buccaneer Discord. Are you in there sometimes? You check it out every now and then? Yeah. Because imagine with the culvert setup, you do a similar thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you wanna have it hit, and because your terms of condition is 14, you want to do like ring and then terms of conditions probably, so that they like overlap together. If the terms of condition is a second less, and then you pop everything.
In
Whereas
their culvert,
yeah.
they don't even time skip, like in their rotation.
Hmm.
But they do AB towards the end of Unleash, towards the end of Origin.
Yeah. Make sure you get that 60% damage. Yeah. That's why I understand it. But it's very different than a lot of other classes. Because even classes where the Origin is quote-unquote backloaded, they just mean that the damage is at the end of like the 9 seconds or 9 to 10 seconds, not 30 seconds later. It's just such a weird... Because most people wear drags, it's just a thing on the map where that's cool, but it mostly kills monsters and does like a little bit of extra damage to the boss, but it's not something worth trying to boost at all. But then yeah, for Buck it's very different.
Okay, cool. That should improve a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe that helps with the P1 BM as well.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to have the be able to do the BAs and have the fog forest. You could just try a whole bunch of different things and just maybe something I said is just like completely wrong, and you try it and it's way worse. Maybe you just lose like 10% damage and you're like, okay, never mind. Yeah, you could just fuck around with it a little bit.
I know they did change the Origin to make it not as burst heavy initially, so you're probably right there.
Okay. Yeah, updates could change that as well, how you need to rotate, right? They could do like a skill change in a patch, and then suddenly you have to change up your order again. Yeah, full 3-9 bot, I mean, I would just wait until cube sale. End of November, probably next cube sale.
Yeah.
I really focus on, get your stars and your backups now.
So is that something I should be, like, focusing on after 21s, or like while I'm waiting for spares? Like, is it worth the investment?
It's probably going to be after maybe like 20s on Superior, but most of the stuff is going to be 21 that you would do it. And then you're waiting for you're waiting for pitches basically. And for pitches, you'll need to know whether they go to 22 first, or, a little bit lower, we talked about with the monocle. But until they go Star Force wise and they survive, then it's not worth spending any of the flames or of the potentials. So in that waiting time, you're probably going to be working on the potentials, after. So Star Force first, then potentials, then waiting for more backups, then sending the pitches, and then if they go, then you can commit to them in terms of flame. And I guess technically you can commit to them in flame now, but like with event flames, right? I never buy flames for them, but if you get a whole bunch of black flames, you probably can throw them on pitches already, because eventually, you're just going to transfer the trace over anyway. So if you had something good, you can just keep working from the trace.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got a few black flames for that.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking
we're
of chucking on my weapon.
For some people, you're getting too many. Yeah, your weapon is 6 and 5. A little bit of stat. Yeah. Yeah, that's solid, but there's still definitely... Yeah, Black Flames could definitely still hit something. Tier 7 is really nice on Knuckles, because, our base attack is pretty low. And yeah, even just like a little bit of an all-stat or something could already be somewhat of an improvement. Have you tried going for, like, attack percent soul?
Yeah, I had 10 boss souls saved up in my time of playing.
Mm-hmm.
They all failed. That is like a tier B soul, I think, or tier A.
Yeah, it's a fun bond, yeah. Or like, no, it's probably an S, but like single S. But yeah, everything below double S is just kind of eh.
Yeah.
Although 5% boss damage versus 7 is not bad, but you just can't get attack percent at all with this one. That's unfortunate, yeah.
But yeah, just got unlucky, saving again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty min-maxy, and you can completely ignore it, but what I do a lot is, like, when I do my weeklies, I also just kill normal Queen, normal Magnus, and normal Vellum every time, just to get a little bit extra shards. And you can, on characters with a lot of drop rate, also do that on a daily schedule. That will increase the amount of shards you get whenever an event comes around greatly. It's very easy to get like 2 or 3 shards per day, so that's between those 3 bosses that can be anywhere from like 6 to 9 shards per day extra.
I'll at least do that on my buck.
Yeah. And you could do that in the same cycle. You're going to do Helix as well, right, daily? Maybe Arcarium as well, see if you can hit more of those. So you're still in a 10-minute drop coupon then anyway, right? So you can squeeze the other bosses all in, or the other mobs. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. I think we covered a lot here. I don't know if you had anything written down, any questions that we didn't get to.
Nah, I don't. Like, covert score is something that happens naturally.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of min-maxing there, if you follow like the specific setup, if you like Fatal Strike prepping at the exact right time. For you, it's gonna be like hitting a roar is gonna be like hitting the lottery. It's gonna be such a huge jump for no meso upgrade whatsoever. It's just about getting lucky and hitting that roar. But that will already make a huge upgrade for you. Probably 3 or 4K just instantly, I would guess.
Yeah, no, it's quite significant.
Mm-hmm.
But no luck. We'll see. They took it out of that temple event, didn't they? Like, you can't get box drops from there anymore, right?
From Oz, yeah. It's just all it's all from the bosses now, yeah. And that's another big reason why going to those bigger bosses is a good idea, right? Because Saren will start dropping and Cullis will start dropping the white boxes, and those are the higher tier ones with they only drop level 3 and 4 rings from those.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
The white jade boxes, yeah, those are where it's at. Possibility for an emblem. Daybreak pendants, right, which you can still use. Yeah, grindstones is a bit of a meme. That's those are super rare. That's really only normal cowling and up is where grindstones kind of like start dropping. From normal Kalos, they're also not that common. Know about the grindstones? What they do?
Yeah. I heard someone complain that someone without a level 4 ring stole it from a group. Ooh. They were very angry.
That's an easy kick. That's one of the easiest kicks I've ever heard of. So, okay. Wait, is Super Octopunch and you have a Hexa Octopunch? Is one during the origin, and the other one just the 6 job, or?
The 6 job procs every time. I can't remember what it's called. Serpent Scale. The thing that gets 5 stacks and then unleashes like a little attack on the boss.
Right.
Every time that procs, you get 10 seconds of Super Octo Punch.
Ah, okay.
So
that's a big part of your damage, damn.
Especially during rotation, because of stimulating conversation. It procs pretty much all the time.
Right. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, just the Hexa and the Super Octopunch together is like the same as your Howling Fist or as your Lightning form, so it's pretty massive. Yeah,
that's why I'm focusing on getting that up. Like, I got that to 19 quite recently. It's pretty significant, yeah.
Yeah, and those together is like, what, 85% of all of your damage? 51, 52, 53... Yeah, it's like 85%.
Yeah.
So the rest is like some leftover arachnid reflection and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last questions? Any last? Oh yeah, wait. I wanted to check the familiar. See any super crazy things here. You have a Papalatus. You hit one of those. 3% damage. Damn.
I actually changed that recently to a 2% attack, like blue. It ended up increasing my combat power, so I'm assuming it's better.
Yeah, percentage damage is very... that's why I was talking about the percentage attack in the soul as well, right? It'll give you quite a bit more, because the total attack percent in general is lower access, especially if you don't have a roar, right? But that's what like the lines of your potentials. You know, if you were to min max, if you get more boss damage from the familiars, you have enough IED, and you can switch it out with percentage attack. That would the balance of the total stats in your account will definitely benefit you quite a bit. So what do you use as your third familiar then? Use a...
Sorry?
What was, do you use the top 3? That's like all of your damage, or?
I changed it. Hopefully you can see that.
All right. Oh, you had another 2% attack. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the unique Papulatus is still nice just to flex on people, I guess. Just to show. Not too many people have that. I've done so many CPAPs. I've never seen one of those, so... Still waiting for it to reveal it into absolute dog shit, but, you know. Probably what it's going to be.
It's not the worst, but yeah, it's quite bad.
Quite bad.
Full, like, 100% item drop. Waiting for FAMs to start dropping for Grandis.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll probably farm there on my cane for a bit. Get some familiars, but yeah.
Yeah. To try to get a large boss here. Or multiple.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
My Kane's familiars got really lucky. I have 2 large boss. So.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah.
That's very nice. Okay.
Nothing on this guy extreme. The 30% IED is nice, which is probably why my IED is so high.
Yeah, the 20 from the Legion artifact, and then 30 from here, and then you're not missing any other sources, and you have 1 line in your emblem. All of that combined, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you throw party buffs on top of that, it's yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Probably at 99% or plus functional. So that also means that if you lose a line of 30% at that point, you basically don't lose that much effective damage. So even if you were to replace it on your emblem with like a line of damage or a line of stat, that might already be an upgrade too. Stat probably not, but a line of damage could probably also already be an upgrade if you have that high of a functional IED. Yeah.
I'll save up in November and probably recube it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get a Saren emblem by that time, then you can just, you know, move over. And if you don't, then that's definitely a project to do. Yeah. Once you get all the accessories to like 3-line minus 3% or something, right? You get like 27% on all the sub 160s, 30% on all the 160 pluses. That's probably when I would look at trying to get 3-line on the emblem, something like that.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Well,
yeah, thanks for that, man.
You're welcome. Hopefully it all works out and you get many backups and pitches soon and all that stuff. Sorry about the bad news about Commercy, but it is valuable, so I didn't want to skip over it.
Yeah, no, all good. I will do that.
All right. Well, yeah.
See you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Yes. All right. Hopefully people in a similar situation. Some of the insights, some of the advice is here, helpful for you guys as well. If you have similar questions, you should be able to get on your way. If you have extra questions or you think something that was said here could be clarified or maybe corrected a little bit, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want one of these sessions as well, check the description of the video or check !Coaching over at Twitch, right there. Twitch.tv/Scardor. All the way on the left side, you see the chat. You can be there live if you watch the stream. And you can get coaching sessions right now in 3 ways. You can either just buy them. You can leave a comment on the post that I put monthly on YouTube. This month, we are giving away extra sessions because we had some people donating to the stream to give extra sessions away. And I will be posting, actually, I'll probably be posting, by the time you see this video, the post will probably be up. So make sure to put your name in and your Discord, and I'll be reaching out to you to plan a session because we're halfway through July already. Jesus, time flies. And the third way is if you're subscribed over at Twitch, which is very cheap, and you just watch the stream, you'll get channel points, and then you can buy the session with the channel points, which is the budget, slightly slower, but the budget way of getting yourself a session as well. All of these ways, of course, support the stream, so thank you in advance. All right, thank you for watching this, and I'll see you live on stream, or maybe just in the next video. Maybe click something on the screen. I don't know if I remember to put the outro screen on. If I did, then maybe click another session with some more advice, or don't. Do whatever you want. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye. Did Trump get shot while I was doing that coaching session?